type of hardship, pandemic. There's also some mortgage assistance out there. And I don't know if anybody has seen this yet, but the Department of Housing and Urban Development sent out about 400,000 letters nationwide last week to borrowers that are past due, encouraging them to apply for assistance or to contact a counseling agency to get some help. So if you have people reaching out saying their mortgage company is pressuring them to get current, we can help with that process. Just a couple updates in case anybody runs across.
Do you have any social media posts on that we could add to our social media site?
Yeah, let me check with the gal that does our social media, but yeah, I can share that. And then I'll also put the link to the application for the rental assistance in the chat box here too.
Good. Yeah, we have a really big following, so if we can add that to it, that'd be great.
Yeah, yep, I'll do that. Kim, do you mean the United Way one or the Cornerstones one? Cornerstones, you said?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, Cornerstones.
Yeah, we'll share it over.
Perfect. Anyone else?
This is Stephanie with People's Transit. We have Feeding South Dakota today at noon. It's also always held the third Thursday of every month. They're always looking for volunteers. If anybody would like to volunteer, they can get a hold of the Huron Ministerial Association or Pastor Nick at the Huron Open Bible, or just show up and they'll point them in a direction to go. But the Feeding South Dakota is today from noon until the cars are gone. It's been going really well.
Make sure you can go ahead and click in the chat if you want any of those links that everybody's sharing. So, okay, anything else for the good of the group? People's Transit also has the Summer Pass program for young people. I always love to hear about that.
The PT Passport, it's $60 for June, July, and August. We'll tote the kiddos anywhere they need to go, whether it's swimming lessons, t-ball, golf, grandma's house. It's unlimited. We did extend it. We were getting some queries for people that live 3 miles outside the city limits. So if they're interested in that, we are doing that as well, but that would be $100 for the 3 months, as many times. So that's been going really well. Parks and Rec has already got signed up, and we're already seeing people signing up their kids just in case they need to go somewhere. So that's going really well. And the applications for those are on our website, or they could stop in, or they can reach out to me in an email and I can email.
Hey, can you tell us anything in Spanish now?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, can you tell us anything in Spanish yet?
Oh, yes, I can. Me llamo Estefanía. S-T-E-P-H-A-N-Y.
All right. Stephanie's taking one of our Spanish classes, so. All right, anything else? And Dawn, would you like to start with talk about the wings and what you're doing?
I would love to. I appreciate the invite. This is an old story with a new beginning is what it is. Those of you who have been a part of the Huron community are well aware that we had a YWCA in Huron, and we did for 100 years in this community. So it was a long running service organization that had been the generations of women who pledged their time, money, and efforts to the YWCA are endless. I can't even begin to tell you how many people over the years either were involved on the administrative side of that organization or on the receiving end. As many as the stories go back as far as having high tea at the YWCA as young ladies and learning to use which fork, and showing up at gala events. So it's got a long history. The YWCA was designed originally as a place to educate young women in the ways of marriage and home and that sort of thing, and childbearing and all those things that they were expected to do, many years before our generations now. And over the years that evolved, and it became not just a place for young women to experience camaraderie and fellowship, but to learn skills. But as time progressed, the YWCA as an organization in general really struggled with its place and what it was able to provide to the young women that had been a part of it for so many years. So the national organization was struggling a little bit, and that kind of trickled down into some of these local organizations. And at one time, there were several YWCAs in the state of South Dakota. We now have one left in the state of South Dakota. I do believe that's in the Mitchell area. So it tragically, you hate to say this, but it at some point ran its course. And we, as the Y here in Huron, I became a part of this board 11, 12 years ago. And one of the things we noticed right away is that we were duplicating a lot of the services that were already provided by other agencies in town. The Nordby Center, or the Salvation Army, or the Family Violence Center ran by Jan Manolis. There were a lot of the churches in town were covering many of the same services that we were providing. And so it slowly but surely, we were kind of running out of a reason to be here. And in addition to that, we were a very asset heavy and very cash poor organization. When I came on board, we were losing about $70,000 a year. That was not acceptable. We were basically using our assets to survive. And so there had to be a major change. And over that 10-year course, we made met with a lot of people, tried to find a reason and a way. And the women on my board were very dedicated. The executive directors that served on the Y during that time, I feel went above and beyond to try to save it, if you will. And at some point, we decided that was just not in the future of the YWCA. So I'm not going to say that the decision was an easy one, because it weighs heavy when you think about dismantling a 100-year service organization. But what that led us to do is take our assets, put those assets back to use in the community. So at one point, the YWCA owned 4 different facilities. And thanks to the state of South Dakota and a lot of grant writing, we were able to keep those facilities in good shape and operational, but they really didn't have a purpose any longer. Several of them were sitting empty. One of those was located in Redfield. That building was sold and is now being utilized as a home. One of them was our administration building, which is located next to the crossroads. That we had been leasing on the weekends to a local church, and they wanted first opportunity to purchase that property, and they did. So it is now utilized as a church facility. We also had what we call Hotel California. We had a house on California Avenue that was used for transitional housing for our clients, and was sold and is now utilized as a 2 housing unit by a local gentleman who bought it here in Huron. And then the last property was the Buchanan House, which is probably the most popular of all. Obviously has huge history. The Buchanan House, we auctioned that one as well, and it was purchased and renovations were done, and now it's been sold. So long story short, we took those assets and turned them into a foundation with the stipulation that those monies would be utilized and brought back to the Beale County area and utilized to supports still the mission of the YWCA, which is women and children. And so at this point, that foundation is at the $3 million mark. So it's a very substantial foundation. It's taken some dedication and work from a lot of people to make that happen. But the great news is the legacy of the women who dedicated 100 years to that organization. Those dollars and their mission will continue on for perpetuity, which is great to know that this isn't just in the life and span of Dawn Mutchell-Knaus, that this will always be here, and it will continue to provide resources to Huron and the surrounding area. So that's how we got to today. That was about a 12-year journey. So today now, our foundation is allowing us the opportunity to bring back the last couple of years, the last 2 years, we've been able to inject between $30,000 and $40,000. We hope that number stays consistent. It might actually grow in the years to come. So, and we're starting with this number, but it is, we're utilizing the Huron Community Foundation to take those applications, those funding requests, which happens in the month of February and March. And then we're able to skew off the ones that we feel are meet our mission, that still meet the objective, and help interject those funds back into the community. So that is a very short definition of a very long journey. But I'd love to take questions from you, because I could talk about the YWCA for days. This is something I'm very passionate about. And so if any of you saw our article that was written by the Wings, or the Wings article that was written and put in the Prairie Tracks, this has been last spring, so it's already a year old, but it gave a pretty good description of that journey. And so I think some of you may already be aware, but I would love to take your questions if you have any.
Dawn, this is Rhonda Clute, and I just think it would be very informative if you shared with the group some of the projects and programs that Wings has provided funding for the last couple of years.
I sure can. There have been several that have come through the school district. We have seen maybe they're projects that aren't covered by the school's budget. So they may be field trip related incidences or just some classroom projects that are just not falling under any type of budgeting through the school. So we've had some come through the school district. The backpack program shows up on our radar quite a bit. The People's Transit, of course, helping out with the children's passports. And that funding for those kids that need rides during the summer. We have also done some over the COVID timeframe, some rental and heating assistance, those kind of things for our single women in the community or with children that we can help out. We have done, wow, you're going to test me here. The Royal Kids Camp, I believe, has come up on our radar. The Imagination, that group has come to us for funding. With the Pheasants Forever, when they do the field visits with the kids and take them out, I think that's a third grade classes that participate in that. Again, a lot of these are kid related. We're also the Wings Foundation, just to make sure we utilize as many of these funds as we possibly can, are looking at scholarship programs for our high school senior young women that may be looking to go into a field that we need here in these communities that we serve. So that kind of gives you probably a good cross section. There's obviously many more. I don't know that I could list them all, but have I missed any, Rhonda?
You've funded so many programs. I know, I don't know if you mentioned preschool partnership, but we did have that listing in the Plainsman in the Huron Community Foundation section last Sunday. and there was quite a long list. So the current funding recipients were listed in the weekend edition of the Plainsman last weekend. So I think you did a good job covering all those, Dawn.
Yeah, I thought of another just recently, the Heartland 4-H Rodeo. 4-H kind of falls into that category for us as well. On a bigger scale, as this foundation continues to mature, we are hoping that we have the ability to take on some larger issues in the community of Huron, whether it be daycare or, we used to say at the time that we were still a group at the YWCA is every morning as a woman, if you have children, the first thought you think about is your kids. I need to get them up. I need to get them to school. I need to get them to a doctor. I need to get them picked up after school. I need to get them to soccer practice. That is what consumes a great part of our brain matter as a woman with children. And so the YWCA feels that is something that if we can take some of that pressure and concern and worry out of your daily life so that people can do what they need to do every day to provide for their families, then that is a perfectly good reason for our existence. So again, we try to stay true to that fact. I was just going to mention our board members because again, these people have been with me through this journey, most of them from the very beginning, some of them coming on board maybe a little bit later, but we're made up of an all women board. There's 7 of us, Pauline Carey, Heather Roselle, Janice Christensen, Jennifer Fuchs, Laura McGurr, Sarah Newman, and myself. We keep it a very small board, primarily because, as you all know, getting everyone together on a regular basis is very difficult. And every one of these women have had some vested interest in the YWCA and have, I feel very strongly about the fact that they won't forget where we came from, because I think that's pretty important. It makes us very due diligent with the money that we've been gifted to take care of. I think these women have the right heart and mind to do this job. And so I'm pretty glad to share a board with them. But any other questions I'd love to share. If you have other comments or you just want to visit with me on a privately about this, I'm more than happy to take a phone call because again, I'm very passionate about what we've accomplished through this journey with the YWCA. I probably should share one other thing. The WINGS, what it stands for, it's Women in Network Growing Stronger. That's what that stands for. And I'm going to read our mission just really quick so you're aware of what we really, what we choose to our beacon, if you will, is the funding designated to achieve the successful establishment or continuation of new or existing family services and community infrastructure in Huron and surrounding areas. Preference will be granted to those requests which provide support for the growth, protection, and overall benefit of women and children in an effort to fortify community and strengthen the family unit. And that's all I've got.
I think you ladies have done an excellent job of taking what could have been a very sad situation and created something very needed in the community. You know, as you were struggling to find that need, you did.
Thank you.
Dawn, this is Mary Ann. I'm just wondering, do you have access to the funding just once a year through the Community Foundation, or can programs contact you during the year outside of that one-time funding?
Very good question. The bulk of our requests come through the Community Foundation just because that's a great conduit and people are familiar with that process. But the WINGS Foundation will take requests throughout the year.
Question, Mary Ann. Other questions for Dawn? Sorry, I'm on 3rd and Dakota. All right, well, thank you, Dawn. We're going to switch gears and talk to Jolene about the new CTE program.
Thanks, Kim. I don't know that the CTE program is new. It's been with the Huron district for quite a while, but we've got some great visions moving forward. We have, I'll start with the Business and Career Fair last Wednesday or Thursday with the Week of Work some of you may be familiar with. Lori helped me get the information out to the chamber members, and we blasted it on social media. We had 68 tables set up in the arena, in which all of our high school students had the opportunity to attend. 22 of those were post-secondary institutions, so colleges and tech schools, 3 military. So we had National Guard, Air and Space, and the Navy were all here. And then we had 43 community partners have tables, and it was absolutely amazing. Looking forward to continuing to grow it next year. If we have more than 68 tables, we're going to have to find another place or go into the Huron Event Center because there is no more room for expansion in the arena. So that is very exciting. When I first brought the idea to Dr. Steinhoff, I said, I know we're only a month away. Should we try? Should I start for next year? Because I had originally started this when COVID hit. I was planning it, and then March 13th or 20th or whatever it was hit, and everything else got pushed to the side. And the response was absolutely overwhelming. I kept going, I don't have any more space. I don't have any more space. The weather took a couple of people from North Dakota and Watertown, but we had University of Nebraska here. None of our North Dakota schools were able to come, but it was absolutely just amazing. And the students were engaged. The comments that I got back from the vendors was our students were so polite. They were asking questions. So I'm excited to continue that for next year. So that was in conjunction with the week of work. The middle school yesterday, I don't know if you opened your business, but the 6th graders had it was career day at the middle school. The 6th graders toured different vehicles, opportunities for those type of careers. The 7th graders took buses out into the community. And I saw a social media post from the funeral home, and I'm trying to think of, I think the hospital was one, and lots of different places in the community. So thank you for those that opened their doors. And then the 8th grade had mock interviews at the middle school. So they got to experience career opportunities and those experiences. So that all kind of falls into CTE, helping them plan. And then we have a 5-year timeline that we're kind of looking forward to for the Career in Tech Ed program. We're not looking to change anything that we're doing because all of our programs are full. We're just looking to continue to grow as our enrollment is going to grow. Our buildings are going to be at capacity here before too long. Each building has a capacity of 250 students per grade level, and some of those grade levels are pushing 250 students, which is a wonderful problem to have. So this year we had a team of people that went and toured different CTE facilities. We went to Aberdeen, Watertown, Sioux Falls, and Yankton, and we got some ideas of things that, programs and equipment and things that we could possibly do here. We have hired a health science teacher. Rita Baszler will be teaching a Gateway to Certified Nursing Assistant class next year. Hopefully over the course of time, she will be part nurse, part teacher, and hopefully we'll have the growth in that program where her job duties will be teaching and we'll have to hire a nurse to replace that position. So that is exciting. Hopefully we'll get some internship opportunities second semester with that, get them into the field and get that experience. We revisited the advisory board and that structure. Here, the beginning of April, we held our first advisory board meeting. There was about 50 community members. It was absolutely amazing representation from all of the clusters that we offer. So some really good conversations, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to build those partnerships with the businesses and the community, and what can we do to help? Where do we need to provide classes to benefit the community? Where are we missing? Where are we strong? So all of those conversations were held in one room, and it just gives me goosebumps thinking about it because it was wonderful. Our CTE Center edition, where the house will be built indoors, is almost completely finished. We're waiting on a couple. There will be a crane in the middle of it inside to help with the rafters and all of that. But that is exciting. We are talking about, and we'll be meeting about when we'll have an open house for that. So that will be coming, but that will change our building trades program and give them an opportunity to, okay, well, we can't put siding on today, it's too windy, or we can't do shingles because they're all going to blow away, or it's snowing, or it's icing. And, you know, all of those weather factors are going to be off of the table. So that is really exciting. We started to form community partnerships. HRMC has donated $40,000 for our health science program to buy industry grade equipment, especially since we're starting our CNA program from scratch. So that has been a very exciting opportunity. Looking forward to building those partnerships within the community in our other programs as well. Next year, we want to survey students the fall and see what classes are you interested in taking. Provide an array of options and see where that will lead us, as well as talking with our advisory board and matching those up. So we can look at hiring new staff for the 23-24 school year. And then as we grow our program, we're going to need more space. So looking at adding on to our current CTE center to house all of our programs there. Our culinary arts and fashion design FACS is currently in the high school. That will give them an opportunity to have more space, because obviously we're going to need more classes there as well. So kind of everything all flowing together. 23-24, hopefully we'll start those additions and look at what are we going to call it? What are we going to name it? Hire more staff, and then start seeking those business partnerships and advertising opportunities. And then in 24-25, once the building is complete, bring in community, school board members, parents, counselors, administrators, and students to tour the facility and have an opportunity for them to come in and take some of our programs. We're not looking to replace any of the programs that they currently have, but to be able to support them in the programs that they don't. And so hopefully that will all happen when the addition is complete in 25 and 26. And that sounds like it's a long ways away, but I think it's just it's already end of April. We have less than a month left of school for this year. So I don't know where this year went. So that's kind of CTE in a nutshell. Our K-5 do Project Lead the Way, which helps them, it's all hands-on, and that gets them exposed to different career opportunities. We will be expanding to the middle school next year. We will have a 6th grade, a 7th grade, and an 8th grade Project Lead the Way class. And so then that will help prep them for the high school Project Lead the Way classes as well. So we are excited about those opportunities. So questions?
You said you're adding middle school next year, and there's nothing at the high school now, but you're looking to add that later? Is that?
We currently have principles of biomedical science. Shar Sarda teaches that. We are adding human body systems, and that's actually going to be a really cool class. There's a body, and they build the muscles and organs and everything inside out of clay. And so they start with an empty shell, and by the end of the year, they're going to have a full body made out of clay. So that's very exciting.
Cool.
Talked to some people that attended your advisory meeting. Is that like a week or two ago?
April 6th, I think. It was an early release. So, yep.
They were really pumped up when they left. So good job. Kudos to you guys. They were yeah. Lawyers are there to, they are excited to be part of it. So it was interesting to hear them talk. That was great.
Well, I think it'll lead to some wonderful partnerships for internships. I've been working with Neil a little bit more, and he will be an absolute wonderful help in placing students and being that connector between the students and the businesses. So there's some opportunities that we talked about yesterday for summer school and students that are looking to go into education. We're struggling finding staff, and that's across the board. And I know it's not just education, but we need to start growing our own. And if we can get them in internships and education and through the summer school and all of those things, hopefully they'll want to come back and work for us as well. So
I feel like I heard somewhere that there was going to be, I don't remember if it was you, Jolene, that was talking about it, that there was going to be like a panel discussion. Was that for high school students about like post-secondary education and tech schools, and what are some of the other options that are out there? And was that you talking?
It was not me. However, the state with the week of work had some panel discussions, and they were all live and or Zoom or recorded. So the students had the opportunity to watch those and can go back and watch those. I don't know if that's what you're referring to or not, but that's what comes to my mind. You're muted, Kim.
Well, Neil and Jolene, sign Cornerstones up when you want to talk about teachers exposure, because there is a whole other world of teaching here that happens too, and we struggle too finding. So it's a different opportunity in teaching that.
Wonderful. Yes.
Love to have people see and they can explore, like, because the way we're set up, they can work with a teacher that's Spanish speaking in Yankton and a teacher in Aberdeen who's doing this, and yeah, from right here. So yeah. Jolene. Quiet group today.
Well, thank you for letting me share.
So many awesome things that are happening in our community, and the evolution is just amazing. I think we can all be very proud of that. Anything else that people want to share for the good of the group? It's kind of a quick day today. Hour, don't get me wrong.
I'll just touch on ESL a little bit, Kim. We have summer school every summer. Last year, we had 369 students that regularly attended. This year, we have 501 students from kindergarten to 7th grade signed up. So that is an amazing problem to have. So and then we had the dental bus here the end of March, beginning of April, and we'll have it here again the 21st through the 24th of June.
Jolene, can you tell us the background of that increase of volume over the summer?
I have no idea. I don't have a why other than they enjoy school. I don't know. We've had an increase in ESL students this year. Lots of new families coming in. That could be part of it, but not 130. So I don't have an answer yet.
I'm not in education, so I ask that only because, is it because there's a need that they need to attend, or is it more of a they want to attend to keep their skills and to just excel in the ESL area?
I think it's partially both.
Okay, okay. I just didn't know how they decided to attend.
We invite all ESL students. They have an opportunity because we use Title III funding and migrant funding from the federal government. So all of the ESL students are invited. We don't discriminate in that matter. So more just decided this year that, yep, we want to come, or their parents said, yes, you're going.
Yeah, that's wonderful to keep, just like any student, that summer break, it seems like it's catch up in the fall a little bit. So that's wonderful that they have that opportunity. This is Teresa. I'll put my video on. Teresa Hobbit from HRMC. Let me see. My video is not wanting to work, it looks like. There it came. I just want to thank Jolene for the career fair also in the arena and the advisory board for the CTE. It's been wonderful. And I think it's exciting for all of our employees here in town. We are all in need, right, of workers and staff, and it doesn't matter what business we're in, I don't think anymore. So kudos to you, Jolene, for pulling all that together and offering that to our community and to our students. So the other thing that I might just interject is HOSA, Health Occupational Students of America, is an organization that we re-implemented here just this last fall. Rebecca Storm and myself are partnering with advisors for the high school students. It is open to all high schools, 9th through 12th grade. Obviously, those that are potentially interested in the healthcare fields, that's kind of the focus of that, and getting them exposure with different environments and speakers and different things like that. So that is fun. I think Rita Baszler has been active in that, and she's been attending our meetings. And I want to thank Mrs. Sarda and Mrs. Fuchs, because they have opened up their classrooms and been present so we could come to the students there. It is more difficult not being a teacher at the school because that connection, and so having them has been very helpful for us, Rebecca and myself. So we did go to the state conference here this spring, the end of March, 1st of April, and took 7 students to our state HOSA conference, and they were in events or competitions. And we actually had one student that made it to nationals. Unfortunately, she's not able to attend in that competition, but we will hopefully just get better each year. For Rebecca and I, it was our first go around, so we were learning a lot too. But it really gives those students an opportunity. Like I said, we've tried to invite different speakers of the healthcare field into them and let them talk about what they do. We had medical lab, we had, a nurse practitioner and nurses there. And so we'll just continue to grow with those students. It is a student-led organization, and so we have their officers, and they kind of take those next steps. So I can imagine Mrs. Baszler will be a big part of that as she transitions into her new role too. So we're excited for that. I think that was all. Just reminding everybody, Southeast Tech is here with LPN and RN program. We actually have medical assisting here now too from them. So it's been a delight partnering with them. I work very closely with Mrs. TV, the instructor, and the staff down at Southeast Tech, along with Brooke. I see Brooke is on the call, Brooke Saito, to just continue to develop those programs, keep our numbers up, and help support our community, even non-traditional students, to come and gain more knowledge and expand their career as they, decide that when that's right for their family. So thank you.
I had a sticky note with all of the student organizations. So thanks, Teresa. TOHOSA was on there. We also have Educators Rising, which is in its infant stages. That's for teachers. Then we have FBLA, FFA, and ProStart. ProStart is a culinary student organization. So those are what we have so far moving forward.
Jolene, this is Judy Eden with the South Dakota Department of Labor. When did you say that dental bus is coming in June? The dates?
21st through the 24th.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jolene, this is Marianne from M&M Daycare. I'm wondering, you were talking about the high number of the ESL students for the summer school program. how many total ESL students are there in the system? Do you have any idea?
Yes, K-12, we have 969.
Oh my,
We sent 701 K through 7 invitations out. And like this week alone, I've had 3 families so far that we've registered, and I have 1 more tomorrow. So they're still coming, whether it be for families or for the turkey plant, you know, there's just, and they come in waves. So they'll be quiet for a little bit and then they'll come for a while. So they're still coming, and they're still, you know, plan on, in conversations with Smokey, of we'll be getting more families this summer. So I expect to see, you know, possibly up to 1,000 students.
well, that kind of percentage is fantastic to have them return for the summertime.
Yes.
Jolene, do you know anything about with the meals being free to all students ending for next year? Is there any, are you seeing anything different that's going to be happening with free and reduced lunches moving forward, or is it gonna still everything be the same as it used to be before COVID? Do you know?
I believe it'll be the same. That's an Amanda question, but what I've seen in her social media posts is that it'll go back to the application. You can do that after July 1st. It is online or on the app. And so that will be nice, that you can not have to fill out a paper form if you so choose. But yes, it'll go back to, if you have the application filled out before the first day of school, then starting the first day of school, the free and or reduced amounts will kick in.
Thanks.
This is Lori from the Huron Chamber and Visitors Bureau. And if I could just share a couple things from the Chamber side and the Visitor Bureau side. Wanted to make you all aware that our Huron Connect group is very active right now, trying to make sure that with new residents coming into the community and even existing residents, that we get some contact with them so that we can help share what is happening in our community and what things are available. We want any new workers coming in to be happy that they are here, but in order to be happy, they have to know what's going on. So as a mission, like as the chamber, we are looking to welcome these people. So we have welcome baskets that have been prepared by Huron Connect, and they are filled with Huron information along with goodies from different businesses in town that have chosen to put things in those baskets. Then the Huron Connect group wants to reach out one-on-one to these people so that they have somebody different maybe than at their place of employment, somebody new that they can have a familiar face with. And the more people, you know, that they know, maybe they will all stay connected, and we want them to stay happy, and we want them to stay here because we know we have a workforce shortage. So they are working hard with that. We are working to try and make sure that people know where they can get information as far as what's going on in Huron. So sharing the things like our community guide, and if you need them at your places of employment, let us know. But that community guide tells so much about Huron, what the services are, where they can go for help. And it gives a list of the events that are happening that we know of as of the time that they were printed. Plus looking at the website and even calling the chamber for information so that people know that there are resources for them as far as what's going on. And I just love how active our Huron Connect is becoming, and they do socials the first Thursday. They are either at lunch or in the evening. They've been splitting them out, and they'll do different things throughout the year. But if you have a neighbor that's new to the community, we would like to know that. You can contact the chamber and let us know. And if you have any contact information, we want to make sure that they get welcome baskets as well as new employees in your businesses. So we're just trying to work to keep people engaged in the community, to feel happy in this community that I know we all love, and that's why we're here, but we want to make sure that anybody new, they don't feel like they're just visiting, that they feel like they can make it home and have connections to make it continue to feel like home. That's what I wanted to share.
So I have a employee who's graduating from Leadership Huron this May, yeah. And just for the good of the group, he today could not rave enough about the experience that he had. He's been in the community a couple years now, and he just feels so much more connected. So good job, Lori. I'm excited that it's like, that was a good investment of my money.
Right. We're very glad to hear that. This year is about ending up. So if any of you have employees that have been around, some have been around for years, but want to be part of that Leadership Huron group, applications will start in July for that. So thanks for sharing that, Kim. I appreciate it.
I wanted to mention, this is Rhonda Clute, along with your message, Lori, regarding the information for new people coming into the community. Last summer, we put together a childcare provider directory because people moving into our community had no idea where to turn for preschool, early childhood, or daycare. So that list is available on the Chamber and Greater Huron website. And if you know of people moving in that are seeking childcare, refer them to those websites to get that information. And we will be working on an updated listing this summer, trying to purge irrelevant information and add new information. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that we are going to have TAP, which is the Tiger After School Program registration, on July 21st at the Huron Arena from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And information will be going home with the students, but that has been a very popular program. And our final day for the after school program will be May 13th. So if you want to get the word out, and we'll put it on our Facebook page, the registration for the 2022-2023 school year will be July 21st.
Rhonda, can you remind me, did you have to do the lottery system again this year, or were you able to put everybody in the after school program?
Nope, we have a waiting list. Most of our students who are on the waiting list have been entered into the program. We do have a couple of grades that have quite a lengthy wait list, but yes, we do have a lottery system. We take 30 students in each grade. And the Washington 4-5 is a combined grade. So 30 students total for Washington. And I believe Linda's on if you want to add anything, Linda.
Nope, that all sounds good. It's been working really well to have the registration in the summer, to have things a little more organized for when the school year starts. And by doing that, and we've been able to extend the program a little bit earlier and longer in the year. So I think that's helpful to both students and to families. And so we look forward to that going well again.
Sure, information to share with the group.
I will have you start brainstorming about if you want a booth next year at our Business and Career Fair. Hopefully we will open it to the community for a portion as a community job fair, as well as surrounding schools. So obviously more information will be coming out next year, but having in the back of your mind, I've heard not only today, but in the community, we are lacking workers. So to be able to hopefully promote that to the community and have a time for them to come in and explore. Maybe they want to go back to school. Maybe they want to go to Tech College at Mitchell, or, any of the other colleges or So that is one of my goals for next year in the business and career fair.
Hi, this is Amy over at the Department of Health and the Bright Start program. I just have a question. Is anyone, so I have a, excuse me, see a lot of moms, right? That's what we do over here at the Department of Health a lot. And they're really struggling with childcare and finding childcare, and they generally will end up staying home because they can't find childcare. Is that something that anyone in the community is currently working on, or is that on anyone's radar?
Jolene, I think you can respond to that. At the CTE meeting, we had discussions on that very topic. I'm not sure if Jolene is there, but we did discuss that.
Sorry, I had someone step in the office. I missed, Amy, what you were asking.
I have a lot of families that are struggling with childcare, finding childcare, keeping childcare, finding quality childcare. Is that, was asking if that was on anybody's radar.
That was something that we talked about at the advisory committee. Yes, we didn't come up with any answers, but it's definitely something that we've talked about.
Yeah, I feel like that's a struggle for most of my families.
And Amy, I would again direct you and to check out that information that is on the Chamber and Greater Huron website. Jesselyn Lichty helped us put that information together last summer, and we were stunned at two things. Number one, the number of childcare providers that are in the community, and number two, the number of childcare providers who no longer are in that profession. So that's why we want to do an update again this summer, because we just want to make sure that that is as current as we can get it to be, because we know there's a huge demand for childcare. And I like the fact that you used the word that I love to include when talking about childcare: quality childcare.
Yeah, and Rhonda, on your list, does it denote who takes daycare assistance? Because that's also a struggle. Like, we have very few that take daycare assistance in Huron.
Nope, it does not include that. And we put a disclaimer at the top of the list indicating that we do not endorse any of the preschool or childcare providers, and we have no information regarding whether they are registered with the state or anything else. We simply wanted to provide the list.
Okay, perfect.
Amy, this is Marianne. The only way those providers can do the childcare assistance to the state is if they're registered or licensed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they have to be registered in order to be able to bill the state for childcare assistance.
And with that, when we asked every provider, and I again refer to preschool, early childhood centers, or daycare providers, we asked them to write up their own description. And those who are licensed did indicate, most of them, I'm sure, I think, did indicate that they were registered with the state, which is nice to put in that information.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Rhonda.
Other comments or questions? Well, thank you all for coming today. And I know that any of the members of our group would love to hear your ideas for our next CPR meeting, which will be July 21st, which is just around the corner already. So please let us know. If you have something you'd like to share with the group, let us know. We will get you on the agenda. Thanks, everyone.